whatever, the butt of the joke for the last 5 years. And now you get 1 year when you're
let us have
I'll let you have
I need
1
the
year.
USA chance back.
Yeah,
Like that's what I live for.
it's a good year. You got EG and then also Quincy crew. Like it's a good time.
Okay, so to the draft, right? We should probably do that.
Man,
Isn't Puck like
AUI is great.
80% on EG?
Oh,
like
yeah,
the win
Adam-
rate even
Adam is-
higher.
He won a puck
Actually,
grabber.
in the last 7 games, 100% on EG.
I believe it, yeah.
It's crazy. And
I think
there's
they just Vaniverse him at some point.
Yep.
And yeah, these are the Siggies, right? The Avid Puck, the Crit Earth Spirit.
Yep.
Crit came into the scene as an Earth Spirit spammer, remained one of the best Earth Spirits in the world ever since Monkey Business. So
yeah, and it's being picked up quite
and
a
at the
bit
same
again.
time, you mentioned like this is what Team Spirit also likes to play, right? The Grimstroke, the Tiny. I
10
think their mid
seconds.
usually plays these magical burst heroes, and they play a lot of double range supports.
Do you think this
5
will
seconds.
be Tiny 4 or Tiny mid? Because they play it on both sides.
I think they should play mid versus Puck.
Yeah.
I think it should be mid or carry, and he should get a fast blink dagger. Puck is a hero where he has like a window where he's very vulnerable because you get the Witch's Blade, you get the Travels,
Yep.
and he scales up extremely quickly. However, if you can punish him in that time frame, he can look really weak. For example, in the tiebreaker game between, sorry, the remade game between Secret and
10
Enigma, like
seconds.
when that DK was able to buy the Blink
Blink?
of Hood,
5
more,
seconds.
because the more
yeah, and Adam morphed into a Blink Dagger. Like that Puck did not look nearly the same. He was vulnerable during that time.
Yeah, and Tiny as a core gets that advantage, right? He
does.
gets enough farm early on, and he can get that blink by the time Puck is completely online. That's one of the reasons why you would like to put him mid lane against.
Also, I just think Spirit, they play the best when they have 2 range supports, actually. They're one of the few teams I've noticed, they just have 2 high damage supports, and they're able to kill off whatever they see.
Also, that Mars banned out instantly by EG in the first phase, followed up by some Lion. This is mostly to protect the Puck. Legion Commander, by the way, I have seen many things, but I haven't seen position 5 Legion Commander, and that's in
That was
NA.
not good.
Yeah, that was
No, that was only
right?
once.
Yeah, only once, and that's it.
It was not good.
Yeah.
It's because Abaddon was banned, and
And they wanted some clear or
I actually don't
some
know.
dispel.
No, they saw Bat Rider.
Ah,
They're
I
like,
see.
okay, we don't have Abaddon, so we're gonna pick Legion Commander. And I feel like every 5 has had this idea, like myself included. Like, oh, I'm just gonna play some Legion 5, like we saw in Kuroki like a few years back.
Yeah.
It's not good. Don't do it.
Yeah, you can't. You're just not as strong as some.
No, you're just
Abaddon
ball
on
with
5.
one
Yeah,
spell. Like
exactly.
you literally don't do
If you do get that shard, however, it kind of
You're
feels
still
alright.
one spell. Like you pick the entire hero for one spell.
That's what Legion is. Didn't Slack say? No, Sunsman was.
No, but Legion
that's
is a hero.
Sunsman,
You have
never mind.
lane pressure. You know, you can defend
5
towers with a
seconds.
max Q early. You're tanky. You know, you can pick off in a fight. This is 5 Legion. You literally stand like 1,000
And you
range
just-
because you don't have Abaddon out there. You're standing so far away. You can't stand close enough to dispel him instantly sometimes. And
The only
hope
good
for the
thing is you
best.
get that BKB built in, right?
I mean, it is a
Kinda,
really good
yeah.
spell.
It's
If you had to build on one
really
spell, it's
good.
up there. But I don't like it. Like just conceptually.
All right, what else are we looking for
10
now?
seconds.
We're starting to get a little bit deeper into this draft. Anything in particular that you're really thinking for EG?
5 seconds.
For EG, I think they need a bit more damage on their 5 right now. I think Puck can start the fights, Earthsphere can follow up, but you just want to have a little bit more for the fight so the fights don't take too long. How
bit
Crit
more
plays as Earthsphere is he rolls in, he'll get around the spells off, and he's really good at resetting the fight.
Radiant's pick.
So you want to burst the first hero that.
And what are you talking about here on position 5? Some Warlock, some Witch Doctor, something like that, or are you still fine with Abaddon, with Treant? Because these are the heroes that EG plays, right? And
You're right, actually.
I wouldn't mind seeing either direction.
10 seconds.
Yeah, actually, I think you're right. I think I overstated it. I don't think you need the 5 burst.
5
'Cause
seconds.
when you asked me that, I was like, okay, I want AA. A's banned. Okay, I want Grimstroke. The other team has Grimstroke. So maybe don't overcommit to a subpar hero. You can go a different direction with this. Take the long fights with something that could treat. That sounds pretty good, actually.
Maybe the only problem is, like, when you do pick that Treant and you already have a lot of catch, you do tend to lack damage in that mid game, right? But here with the Puck,
How
with the
Avid
Earth
plays
Spirit-
Puck, it is pretty high damage, though. He goes for a lot of magical damage when he needs to, and if they don't have physical, he's going for like Deso AC. Like he's fully committing into damage.
And I love the fact that a lot of players, you saw Miracle last night as well. It didn't work out, but you saw him going for that AC eventually.
Yeah.
Just transitioning into a
But
Puck
Puck's
that's
such
right.
a-
Like,
he's such a flexible hero. With
if you remember Singapore Major, Mickey was literally winning games from that mid lane with Puck being a real position 1.
No,
just
he was the carry.
He was the carry. He would go for the Skadi.
Yeah, they would have like, what would they have, like Venomancer?
just always some Bloodseeker,
Yeah, I don't know.
Venomancer, something like that.
And you look at the end game, and Puck's like, I have 70k damage. Like, okay, you're Terrorblade then, I guess.
Yeah, and when you mentioned this Shadow Shaman, we've said it so many times. If there's a puck, Lion is banned out, you pick the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
It just makes your game much easier.
Was it on a panel with you when I was like, okay, so when does it make? Yeah, it was like, when does it make sense to have the Rasta instead of actually having the Line? It's like, oh yeah, when the Line's banned. Like that's what you figure. I mean, obviously going to be some extra things that can play.
I think is the other thing, right?
The same thing
say?
said. Yeah.
That's the same thing. Okay.
I mean, it does.
Wait, sorry, I didn't.
It was a little bit of push.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah, we were talking about that for sure.
like
Definitely going to be an extra
Shadow
thing.
Shaman's way worse versus Puck than Lion is.
Yeah.
Because with Puck, you get the Hex off, you get a stun, and you burst him. Shadow Shaman, like, if he tries to shackle the Puck, he's going to silence my Earth Spirit instantly.
I love this edge.
That's a good edge pick.
Yeah, I love this edge. It's a hero that is actually banned versus EG a lot because they play it so well.
They do.
And then suddenly you don't see it picked by them for a long time, and you think, okay, we don't have to ban it. So let's ban out heroes.
It's hard though, right?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to give them AA or TA either.
That's
I played
true,
the first two TA just now versus TNC, and the game felt over literally in 6 minutes.
The TA looks like the hero of the patch, like the hero of the major at least. Yeah, it does.
Why tie here?
So the silences don't really work as well on him, right? He can get a lot of these things off, and he'll be able to.
I like the idea of it because they pick these 2 ranged squishy supports, and they need something to just stand in front line and be able to stun the enemy team, give them some space to fight.
Enchantress can possibly bully him a little bit, right? If you find the right creeps.
Yeah, it's a bit RG dependent.
And they go with the Ursa now. This looks pretty bad after this pick for the Tidehunter, right? Or you don't think so?
So my read on Ursa is that hero is strong, but his laning is actually really weak. Like, if they go Gush and Shock, I think, and block the camp, they can actually win this lane. And what I think Spirit should think about is they should start Groupstage there at level 1 with the nuke. Just have like sort of a surprise gank on him. Even if you don't kill the Ursa, which honestly, like, maybe even make a level clap, it feels good. Like, they can swing that lane in their favor.
No, you're right for sure, because Gush plus Shadow Shaman's damage
it's actually
natural.
Scary, right?
It's so strong.
You don't expect
I've seen the same lane. It actually did lose, but the players were misplaying it a little bit. They weren't really playing together.
If you play really, like, I've seen these Tidehunters, they start Tango Solve, so a lot of stats on the Quanlet, and then they bring 3 Mangles, and they just gush off cooldown on the Ursa, and you cannot out-sustain it. EG is, I would say, they're probably have the most robust safe lane players, I think. Solid.
Do you kind of have to ban out Drow now if you're EG?
Ban out Drow, huh?
Yeah, I think Drow, for me, Drow Troll Medusa might be the scariest versus the Ursa.
Because it's hard for Ursa to play?
Yeah.
I think Ursa actually counts as Medusa.
I know what you're saying. You're talking out of this fast-paced gameplay with diffusal build.
Late game is straight up beater, I think.
I haven't really seen that unless Medusa doesn't buy a Skadi.
Oh, I see.
If she doesn't buy a Skadi, she loses. If she buys a Skadi, it's not really that simple.
Honestly, I believe you over me. I just play really bad pubs in NA. They don't mean anything.
It's not from my pubs, really. It's from the SEA and
yeah, so you have real experience. I'm just talking. I'm just making up words. People believe me because that's a credent. It's really funny.
I love how humble he is.
It's the NA trade, man.
Yeah.
Nope.
No, fake it till you make it.
Like, tier 8 CIS player, TI winner. Who are you gonna believe?
Usually, I mean, I won't get too into it, but usually it is the real ones who tend to be humble. But
sorry, go
no,
ahead.
you go right ahead.
Oh no, I was just thinking because
you're fucking AUI, dude. You say whatever the heck you want. I say hello, I say goodbye. When you want to talk about that, I'll shut the heck up.
So I was what EG's lineup. They need something to sort of frontline for them right now, right? Like Enchantress sort of does it, not really. Earth Spirit is tanky. I think he has like 4.4 strength or something stupid. But he's not a real frontline. They need something that goes in, starts a fight, or like anchors a fight for them. Some tanky offlaner.
What did they ban out? Is that TB?
On EG banned out PL and TB.
Yeah. Well, how about the Centaur if you're picking for EG, if it's not banned out?
Centaur, I can see the idea working. I don't like that hero so much against Tidehunter, just because, you know, Stampede versus Ravage. Yeah. Ravage is good, but it can still work for sure.
They have been picking it. That's maybe, is Timber still in the pool? Yeah, Timber is banned out. He's obviously early on. I really don't see, like, you have Underlord, you have Centaur, What else can you give to Ice Ice Ice?
I mean,
I don't see them clicking Brood here. It's actually banned. Is it banned out? It's banned out. It's banned out.
Okay, I was just gonna say, like, Ice Ice Ice's Brood is something to be scared of.
It's difficult to.
Right now, Team Spirit lack a bit of sustained damage. They have a lot of magical bursts at the start of fight. You know, Ravage, Tiny Combo, all the spells come down.
All about the pick-offs.
Yeah, but if you can sustain through that and reset the fights with some like Earth Strip roll and Ursa's still alive, you can definitely power through their fight.
Oh, Doom actually.
That's a good pick. Yeah. I completely forgot about that hero. Really good for Tidehunter.
I was gonna call it for Team Spirit because they had Grimstroke as well, but before the Ursa was picked,
probably some of that is like they don't want them to have Doom as well. I mean, I don't know if
they probably
Doom
won't.
carry, but
Yeah,
that
Doom
probably
carry.
actually.
Yeah.
That stuff used to be legit though. The Doom carry with like super strong.
Probably not anymore.
Okay, so they need a carry that's a bit independent against the Doombringer, I think, right now. I think they want the supports to be able to move around with the Tiny, maybe even go to the Titan to pressure Ursa.
I still see the same heroes. Monkey is still in the pool, that's an option, but they go with the Radiant.
Okay, classic Restore.
All right, now that the chips have all been laid out, the game plan for EG to actually win this one.
Both of these teams have pretty much similar gameplays, right? These offlaners with long cooldown ultimates, they can fight early on one side. Ursa, if he opts to go for the defusal, CIS Raid Kings actually join fights very early on. It phases into gloves.
Is he gonna go to Soul Ring? Is that more Chinese only? Or?
That's more Chinese, but he might. However, this phases into gloves, and then you decide whether to go Armlet or Radiance or whatever. Yeah, like I think both of these teams have pretty decent drafts. I'd value perhaps EG's a little bit more just because of the name, but I like the Grimstroke, Shadow Shaman, and Raid King quite a bit.
I think Spirit's draft is vulnerable in the early game. They have 2 range supports for Enchantress. I think EG should look to collapse on mid with the mid wagon and maybe TP into Doom with the Puck Coil. I think they should be able to like set up the tempo really well if that happens.
Okay, so a little bit of tempo early on when we're looking at Team Spirit's draft. So also, how do you feel about the Ursa now, all things considered? Because I know that you were looking at
just as a hero or
just in this draft.
In this draft, I mean, if he has a good game, I think it's a pretty free Ursa game. I'm not too sure.
Okay.
He has a lot of stuff to back him up. He has abilities to let him hit like Koyo, you know, even just some Earth Spit roll. But it all depends on the lanes this game, I think.
Okay, all right. Well, you heard it from our analysts. This one is definitely going to be tough for Team Spirit as well. You have to keep in mind how much pressure really is on a squad like this. A lot of players not having as much LAN experience in an environment like this, and they're going up against EG.
Honestly, Rich, I know how you feel. I say hello, I say good chatting in between. Lacoste says all the smart stuff. In the meanwhile, looking at these 2 drafts and the 2 teams, are you leaning one way or the other?
I'd say 60-40 for EG, where I've seen a lot of Ursa games where he completely takes over. Might not be the easiest laning stage because he's laning into Tidehunter. Tidehunter plus Shadow Shaman's going to be a ton of damage, ton of minus armor, even though it sounds good on paper, but you know, it's same goes for like Slark into Tidehunter. It's really not that good early on. It's more about like once you get the levels in the mid game, you're gonna feel that, you know, good matchup. But in the laning stage, it's really not that great. And you know, panel discussed about how, you know, this is not a really experienced LAN team. They're not really playing in LAN environment right now. They're in a hotel where they've been, you know, isolated. They made this as their home for the last 10 days. So I really don't feel that this is gonna influence how they're gonna play the game. Maybe when it comes down to the big stage, then it's gonna matter. But right now, I feel pretty confident how Team Spirit is gonna perform in this one.
Yeah, and you call that Wraith King pick right at the end, something that can contend with that Coil, the Doom, and these extended team fights from EG, of course, with his reincarnation. And a point that AUI brought up as well was that early rotation potential from EG, collapsing onto mid lane around the 5 with the 10-minute catapults with the Earth Spirit, the Enchantress around the Dream Coil, and maybe even TP the Doom in there to set that tempo early on. and try and limit Team Spirit and how they do build up into their key items, because they are quite reliant on that itemization, especially on that Wraith King.
EG is going to run an aggressive tri lane, so they have a sentry ward already on the Enchantress to be able to de-ward the big camp and put a ton of pressure. Earth Spirit, Enchantress plus Ursa seems super strong. One of the reasons, because we discussed it, panel talked about it, Tidehunter, like, he is really strong, and now they're also like adjusting the lanes. It seems they're definitely gonna need to bring Shadow Shaman if EG keeps the tri lane, roll from the Earth Spirit.
Straight past them. And they also body block that bottom wave, so it's under tower. That's going to mean it shoves out a little bit better and forces the Wraith King and the Grimstroke to be in a more awkward, open position to allow that roll, that move into the creep, and EG to play aggressively. So there's the adaptation from Spirit, also making up their tri lane in a 3 versus 3 down bottom.
Team Spirit will need to body block the big camp. They see the center ward on the Enchantress. Earth Spirit wants to block the small camp, so there's not going to be a pull. Nicely done by Crit.
Yeah, stopping any kind of creep manipulation. Might take a lot of damage, though, from this.
He might skill Inkswall, just kidding, doesn't get it. If Shaman was a bit closer, maybe he got a boost of speed, but went for a more stat-oriented build. Magic Stick, 2 Ironwood Branches, a Fairy Fire, and a 6 Stangos.
Honestly, really well done by Yatoro so far. 4 and 2, even after that little body block, the pullback, the lane in the state it's in. Still gets a good amount of CS from under his tower and then pushing forward. So not the devastating situation that maybe could have been in this early laning setup from EG. But for now, the tri-lane's a little bit of calm there. We can take a peek into some of these other spots. Abed on the puck in towards mid, going up against that Tiny, of course.
Tiny gets level 6. There's going to be an instant rotation from the Earth Spirit. Already there, hiding in the trees, ready to snap the call. So this type of rotation is very easy to, you know, like, know what they're going to do. So I expect Team Spirit to react to that. Like, prematurely, you know when you're going to be able to hit level 6 on Tiny. You call for a support help, and someone should be there. Possibly, yeah, just the Shadow Shaman, sit there in the trees, also be ready for that type of a play. Meanwhile, on the top lane, we have Tidehunter plus a Doom. Both of these heroes are going to keep farming. Not a good matchup for Tidehunter in the mid game, because this most likely will be the hero that the Doom wants to go on with the ulti. Yeah. Again, possibility that Earth Spirit makes a rotation to the top one more time. Extra slow, extra stun to bring this Tidehunter down right now.
It's kind of interesting though, right? Because usually Tidehunter we consider to be very good against these melee heroes, bullying them with Anchor Smash, getting forward. But if Ice Ice brings the regen that he needs to sustain in that lane, he's got Devour, which will be able to outscale the Tidehunter, especially going into mid to late game.
This is where Ice Ice shines. Historically, he's been always good in these 1 versus 1 scenarios.
Oh, for sure.
You can't really bully out Tidehunter out of the lane. Super strong, great stats gain. Playing into melee hero, you know that he's gonna get the farm. It's all about that. What happens when they hit level 6?
It's about to expire. I thought maybe a go there from EG with a roll, a Centaur Stomp. They don't play an aggressive move just yet. Keeping RTZ farming freely. He's a good wave and a half ahead of the Wraith King in terms of last hits. While Abed secures a bonus bounty rune here, because it looks like the Enchantress will be able to slip back and take that right-hand one for the Dire team as well.
So Enchantress forced to get out in the triangle, try to get a creep from there. Body blocks, they just keep body blocking it. They also have a sentry ward that is inside the square, so that blocks it.
It's kind of cool how that Ench is playing from Fog though, right? Because she's still a threat no matter where she is, and that's why Team Spirit keep both supports down here. So it means they're leeching experience from each other and losing out in that XP battle, while, you know, Earth Spirit kind of staying away from the Ursa, allowing...
Abed gets it.
Oh, Abed, yeah, takes the water route. Tiny combo comes in.
Can't really blow him up, not at this point. Abed had a water rune in the bottle, Tiny 1 level below, so... Still very hard to get. At least he steals the water. This matchup puck against Tiny, I've seen it go both ways. Like, Tiny can get a return kill, can get something done if puck overextends. But, you know, one of the reasons why we see more of the Tinys lately is the introduction of the water rune. So he pushes out the wave with the 3 throw, 3 grab, and then goes back, farms the small camp on top of it. It's just the story of the mid lane these days.
Yeah, the ability there just to stand his ground, not really under too much threat of dying because he's so tanky. See if they do rotate into that mid lane, or if it's going to be down to those midders to TP into these side lanes later on. Team Spirit wanting to move out of the tri-lane, though. Again, they don't want to be stuck down there leeching XP from each other. Try and find the Enchantress, see where Fly has been playing, because Anch has been taking out some of these jungle camps. Getting a bit of CS for herself. And we'll get close in on here with a Grimstroke stroke. The shackles coming in. Enchantress being chased down as Fly will be dropping shortly, unless these little wisps will heal her up. Fly surviving, but a stroke of fate takes her down.
Unfortunately, did not have Enchant ready straight away to dispel the Ink Swirl. But he is level 6 already. Let's see the Earth Spirit. He's hiding in the trees. Possibly ready to rotate on the mid lane, but the lane is kind of pushed in. So just farming a small camp for now. And there's the rotation. Refill the bottle. Enchantress will do the job after you die. Pretty much the stuff that we see lately all the time.
Yatoro forced the TP back to Fountain, in fact. Doesn't go for the TP to the tier 1. Got kicked back into the Ursa. That's a long walk back to that lane. TS lacking in that levels and experience department. And Miposhka and Mira yet again moving towards the edge. Fly, the only real target out on the map that they can attempt to go on, but they whiff out on their combo, and that opens up Abed. Coil the Grimstroke and snipe out a pick off of his own, dodging away from the Wraith Fire Blast. Miposhka dies to the potato of edge, and Fly, these little wisps, the attendance arriving means that Yatoro, even though he's tossed forward, can't close the gap onto Enchana.
So the tri-lanes, all the supports on the map are very underleveled. We see Grimstroke, who's level 2, Shadow Shaman, level 3 at the moment. Even Wraith King, 6.5 minutes in, has not hit level 5 yet.
And the one victor, though, is going to be that Tidehunter. 0.3k net worth. The roll from Crit, the clap out of RTZ. Yatoro doesn't have a TP scroll, does he? So he's kind of stuck down here, and Fly's rotation returning to the bot lane. Inkswell comes, Mira and Miposhka defending their Wraith King with their lives and everything they've got. But look at Ice. Gorged out and cut through the trees. They desperately scramble for any target they can grab onto, but under the tower, the shackles catching RTZ, forced to clap away. Dramaturgy is TPing into this fight, and the rabbit from Tide catches everyone. Ice is done for. Losing RTZ on the left-hand side too. Evil Geniuses overextending, a Team Spirit reacting perfectly.
It took them a while to try to get on him, and then he had 19 magic wand charges, so also healing salve used. They rotate to Doom. First rotation, got nothing out of it, so he will not have a TP scroll ready for another 30 seconds. Tiny, he needs to be active. I've seen different builds on Tiny. The one that I really like is just Brown Boots into Blink Dagger, have a Windlace for more move speed. This time around he decided to go for the Power Treads, which will delay your Blink Dagger. Usually you get it between 9 and 12 minute mark if you skip to upgrade your Brown Boots.
Thinking about the turnaround onto Mira. Down to half HP from the chain stuns of Team Spirit though. And yeah, on that Tiny topic, I know we've seen in SA quite a lot. The Brown Boots straight into the Blink Dagger like 6 or 7 minutes, and you are just running around the map finding pickoffs. Similar to what Abed is attempting now. The coil again launched out. Wraith King half HP, but has the backup ready here to save him out. Shadow Shaman and the Grimstroke, they deter Abed and force him to return to his mid lane.
Team Spirit is really good at figuring out what's gonna happen in the next minutes. They're already there. One TP rotation, one guy sitting behind him. They need that level 6. You don't necessarily need to put a point in your incarnation. It's just by having it, they see you're level 6. We'll think about whether they want to gank you or not twice before they do it.
Toronto Tokyo has a wave to clear out mid. And they put that Tide down bottom, plonk him in front of the tower, soak up the damage, stop the push coming in. Wherever the Doom goes, collapse will follow. Herd, Soul Ring, and working on the phase boot, so he's incredibly tanky. Ravage up shortly, but you can't ravage when you're doomed. TP response is arriving, and the Tidehunter is just impervious to all this damage.
And you can die from Doom when you're a Tidehunter.
Not at this point, no. Pretty top of the net worth, his highest level.
He's just out-reaching at this point. Meanwhile, they will be able to put some pressure on the top tower. Skellies are there to support, sitting behind Wraith King all the time. I don't think EG will try to make a move here. Maybe they have a good read. There's a one ward that kind of scouted them out. At least one hero. Now Tiny mid.
Another coil from Abed. Let's see if this one can pick up a kill, because Tiny snapped the coil thanks to the kick from Crit. But Mira there with a shadow. shackles. Onto Tokyo, the toss back onto Crit Earth Spirit. Still sitting at 400 health with 7 stick charges, bottle charges, and everything else in between. Toronto Tokyo's fine off bottom lane. In comes the Wraith King. Blasts into the Ursa, collapse. Gets hit off, and RTZ is running away from death. A double for Yatoro coming in to react for his Tidehunter.
I'm very impressed by the way Team Spirit is playing first 10 minutes of the game. They're just everywhere around the map. They're reading EG like a book. They know where they're gonna go. I'm also stuttering from how excited I am the way they're playing right now. And also the Tiny, he decided to go for the strength power treads. It's something that makes the difference in that gank. He still had the magic stick plus a fairy fire, but a bit too tanky, limited amount of damage. Crit bought a tome for himself, which got him to level 6. Doing on Team Spirit side, level 4 Grimstroke, Shaman getting closer to level 6, could potentially make a rotation on the mid lane. Let's see if they want to smoke. Seems like they do.
Yeah, they might want to smoke down to bottom lane because this catapult wave from EG.
They did not want to make too suspicious. Just want to show one hero on the map. Otherwise, it would be too obvious. But EG having a really good read as well.
They know this is coming. Retreat back from ISS and fly. Boschke, Toronto, Tokyo can't get to the bottom lane, so they're going to try and wrap around into the triangle instead, but get spotted in the process. Maybe now the idea is to move on to mid lane. Tiny spends his combo, but it stops the push, and that's the most important thing there for Team Spirit, is that bottom tier 1 stays alive. They got the tier 1 top of the Radiant, the Dire team, like mentioned earlier on. That's Crit. Trying to contend with Mira. Another coil. Observer boards. Inkswell. Arbe. Stuck inside. The fans of Press hold their place, and now the top's back again. A double kill for the Tiny. This movement has been so swift and slick from Team Spirit. EG don't know what the hell's hitting them.
The first usage of the Doom was not there. First the rotation, not getting anything out of it, and then time it was used on Tidehunter, he survived. So right now ISS doesn't feel very comfortable just going in. They don't think they have enough damage. Also ISS probably regrets maxing out the Scorched Earth. Would definitely love to have a Devour, reduce just get more gold out of it, going into hand of Midas, sitting at third of the network on the network chart. But I've seen Dooms just popping off completely. When I first saw it few times, it wasn't really that great. The hand of Midas, then you get a BKB Blink Dagger. It's almost every single time the same item build. But you're the king in the mid and late game. Like the double Doom, sometimes even triple Doom with the third Roche. You have enough mana to actually use all your abilities.
Yeah, you don't go to the late game, you bring the late game to you.
Exactly.
Get incredibly stacked. And there is the hand of Midas, almost 13 minutes in. Coinciding with the timing from Tiny though, and that's why we see the TP top. Tiny with a Blink Dagger behind Yatoro. The Dire Observer Ward though, I believe, spots that TP rotation, so Evil Geniuses going to try and ping-pong themselves across the opposite side of the map, knowing that the Tiny won't be able to respond this time. And maybe, finally, collapse onto that bottom objective. On towards Collapse. Fly throws a few little projectiles at him, the Hellbear Smasher. Chipping away, but it's nice little tickles in comparison to the health pool and tankiness of the Tide right now, who can just stand his ground in front of that tower.
Collapse, what a boss. He tried to use the trusty shovel, then saw that they're going at him, stopped immediately. Like, well, I just don't want to go for it. I hope he decides to get a Pipe of Insight as the first item. It's a very expensive one, but he's going to mitigate all the damage coming out from the Green Spirit and the Puck.
Mira fast up. Not going to come. Get the Fairy Fire off in time. Tidehunter with a big ravage there. Allows Yatoro to get towards Abe. Toronto, Tokyo looking for a combo. RTZ soulbound up to the Doombringer now, as they do have the Boschke still backing up this Tiny to try and retreat, but ISS chasing forward. There's only a Infernal Blade to slow down. The jump in from Abe, finally securing a kill. That's 2-3 in a row for EG. And this tier 1 tower should eventually fall. Team Spirit sticking around. Reincarnation. We have it there for the Wraith King.
He has a point saved, and finally gets it online. Unfortunately for them, Shadow Shaman didn't get his spells off. If he manages to drop off the Serpent Wards, I think the fight just stops there. They wouldn't get another kill on Tiny, possibly. Tiny, now with the Blink Dagger, will be able to jump the Enchantress. Enchantress also tanking up, going for Fluffy Hat, Power Charge Strength, Magic Wand, might even get a casual clock just to be able to survive through that burst.
Denied. There it is. Collapse bided his time, and Toronto Tokyo attempts on to crit. But again, like you're mentioning, these tankier supports itemizing to deal with that Tiny combo, making sure they don't get burst down immediately. This Invis might catch them off guard though. Inkswell plus the Tombow from Toronto Tokyo, something they might not quite expect. But he'll show himself in that mid lane regardless. It's been quite slow and steady here from EG. It looked a little bit worrying in that position they were in earlier on, where the reactions from Team Spirit were coming thick and fast, but they've kept the farm rates up. Doom, of course, accelerating quickly. Puck now heading into the Witchblade, and that Diffusal Blade on the Ursa Warrior.
That's
too far away.
This is when they take a fight near the Roche, possibly in a triangle, smoke up, and turn that into Roche. With Ursa maxing out the Furious Fight, plus a Morbid Mask, there is enough damage to take down Roche. He can actually solo kill him once he gets that Diffusal Blade up.
It's quite interesting, yeah, to see the not only item builds, but skill builds change because of the item builds, right? Because we used to see Ursa with the Battle Fury. Not really go for the second spell too early on. Overpower, thank you. Brain being a bit slow today.
It's okay, Gary.
You're used to it by now.
I'm used to what I'm saying, you know, a lot of mistakes, a lot of mispronunciations, so you're like, yeah, Gary, you're 10 out of 10.
It's one of those spells that always get mixed up with Overload, Overpower, and Overcharge. Like Io, Storm, and Ursa, I don't know, my brain just can't handle it for some reason. Too many overs, not enough unders. And there is that pipe you mentioned on the Tide. Collapse buys it up. Wants the Blink and the Solar Crest, it looks like. As his big buff-up items.
Team Spirit wants to farm up the Radiance on a Raid King. This is going to be their big timing, plus a level 2 ulti on it. Crit misses it, but there is no Diffusal Blade yet.
And they're still coming in from Team Spirit to defend this Reincarnation.
Ravage is available.
Ravage and EG that's slowed down by the Reincarn. RTZ gushed up. Inkswell's forward. The Hex catches crit. They'll go for the easy target first. Bring the Earth Spirit down as they get a Doom towards the Tiny, it looks like. Not able to completely finish off the Ursa Warrior, who enrages and hops back to safety.
Another Doom, kind of wasted. The only good Doom they got was the Tiny on the bottom lane when they managed to get a kill on one support and a Tiny.
And they hold the Ravage, right?
Yeah, Ravage is going to be available one more time, but unfortunately for Team Spirit.
Oh, in we go. Inkswell combo. Fly, caught out. Completely off guard, and Ice should can have the stun and run away.
Tiny will grant him a wish. He will fly once he uses the combo with that Ava toss.
Not sure the destination is quite as he would have expected. The Fly gets a free return trip anyway. 10 seconds and he'll be back alive. Good control of the map here from Spirit though. In the dire jungle. Tier 2 gone thanks to Serpent Wards. Outpost already grabbed up. 18 minutes in. Very fast tempo from them so far.
Unfortunately for them, Raid King had level 1 ulti there.
Oh,
it's a
sad.
huge difference, you know. It goes down by 80 seconds, and then you're ready to fight in another minute and 20. Now Radiance is online. Still not gonna feel that comfortable going in. Radiant using the scan, so they know they're in a triangle. It's all about that. We defend the Roche, we have a Ravage, we know the Doom is down. 2 big items on EG. The Diffusal Blade about to be delivered to Ursa. Puck with the Witchblade on top of a 1,000 gold, and Doom. He is coming back into the game. The War of Max out in Hand of Midas now has a BKB out of a sudden.
Look at him go. I think you're right, yeah. Team Spirit forcing EG to play in the less desirable portion of the map, that bottom right-hand corner. If they can get the tier 2, maybe balance the scales a bit, grab the outpost for themselves down there. Tier 1 tower mid, of course, prime objective for EG to take, as they are lacking a little bit in that structural damage right now. So they need some pickoffs to allow this to happen, but Team Spirit are giving them nothing. Blinking away from mid, realizing danger is lurking just around the corner.
They're playing the map so well, understanding when they need to go in, kind of protecting the entrance to the Roche pit. You can see skeletons around the Roche pit and the Hellbear Smasher, so everyone knows that the Roche is not being done at the moment. Skellies die.
Oh, little Skellies tooting around. A nice little move by Abed there. We saw him cut the wave behind the tier 2 mid, so making sure that we're able to get something additional out of the map, but here it is. Roshan attempted. All of this controlled literally the past minute and a half, 2 minutes has been moving towards this moment, this point right here, like you were mentioning.
This is a big moment for Team Spirit. They get the Roche, they're dropping the Shadow Shaman wards, Reincarnation ready in 15 seconds. They can prolong a team fight with Ravage if necessary.
EG scan. The Troll Priest walks into the pit, and EG is smoked up, spotting up Mira. They see the Shadow Shaman, immediate time, the jump in combo, from the Tokyo with Inkswell, they have to call the time, even lose fire, crit immediately. The Soul Bite comes out, right still not dead. Storm's nearly falling, the Doom, he comes in but collapses, snatches the Aegis. EG get the kill, but the main prize taken by the Tide, and Toronto Tokyo's back in. Second round of spell, catches out, RTZ and crit. Oh dearie me. He bought back and died again.
Gets a triple kill. Can they chase? Blink Dagger ready in 3 seconds.
Top of the 5. Good stop to Raito Side. But that's mighty. Toronto Tokyo takes down the Doombringer. And Yatoro will actually claim that kill for himself, picking up a spree.
That fight was already done. They don't have... like, if they don't Doom Tidehunter there, which he did, but it's still a lot of damage. Toronto Tokyo went in on 3 targets, Avalanche plus Toss. Damage already done, pretty much, yeah. He did the budget Ravage there. Picking up the Aegis. Rating was very close to also picking it, but, you know, you do not want to risk things. Doom going in, using the War Stomp. Hands kind of shaky.
Definitely looking shaky for EG overall. 15-4. That lead starting to build up for Team Spirit, hitting all their timings and keeping that pressure on the map. And now, prime position for them. Radiant team into the dire triangle. Cut out that wave, take the 2 remaining outer towers.
For the next fight, you can't even Doom Tidehunter. He has Aegis. It's even better. I believe it's even better. Now they have 7 heroes against 5. Crit already bought back and died, so his item progression is just not gonna be there. The good thing going for him is that he found the Fillet Stone.
Oh, nice.
Shaman also for 1.
Oh, Abed. Oh, Abed. Toronto Tokyo nearly has him, but the big shift there, and I said, good play from Chris. But the guy in the back still finds the kill onto the puck. In come the Shackles, Mira holds him in place. Oh, Serpent Ward, EG to the ground. RTZ, he's left here, he's on an island. There's no one to save the teddy bear. No picnic for you, and an absolute slaughter. Team Spirit 5 alive, they're going to go high ground now.
They just don't have enough damage. GG.
It's over.
Calling it.
They've actually just tapped out. Team Spirit with some sublime team play. The control of the map, the reactions, the response to the tri lane, everything. You check every single box. Team Spirit did it perfectly.
They were so quick, just rotating. Sometimes, you know,